everyone. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another episode of the Not Dead Podcast. I am your host, Christian, aka CJ, along with my co-host, Dustin. Dustin, there you- it's been a while since we've done this. It's been so long, I forgot my name in the intro. I'm Cybomania, and that's Dustin. So there we go. It's been a minute since we've done this, ladies and gentlemen. But hey, we're back, and like Dustin said, he had COVID, and that kind of put a strain on doing the show. But Dustin, good to see you kicked out at 2.5, and you're back. Yeah, yes, sir. Um, so we were originally going to plan to do St. Valentine's Day Massacre 1999, uh, but we just decided we're just going to skip all the way to WrestleMania 15 and cover St. Valentine's Day Massacre in a quick way. So, but before we talk about all that, there's some big news going right now. It's all the rage and controversy in pro wrestling. And Dustin, I'm not sure how much you know about this, but boy, Tommy Dreamer's getting dragged through the mud, bro. True, absolutely true. Um, look. So here's the thing. Okay, that people need to realize, and I'm not defending what Ric Flair did. So for those of you who don't know, let's back it up a little bit. So this past Thursday, uh, Dark Side of the Ring came back on the air with new episodes, and this episode was all about the plane ride from hell. And on this plane ride, several wrestlers got drunk, got drugged, um, got drugged and drunk, and among them were Ric Flair, Goldust, Rob Van Dam, among many others. Sean Waltman, I think, was on the plane. Just Incredible was on the plane. Michael, right, and they were flying. They were flying home from the UK after doing a pay per view, and um, and doing a tour over there. And one of the stories that took place on this plane was that Ric Flair decided to show a stewardess or a flight attendant, same thing. He 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 whipped it out, he whipped a little flare out, and he swung it, quote, like a helicopter. Okay. Yeah, he got the hammer and he swung it. Yeah, like a helicopter. Um, and I'm going to say this right now. I don't care who you are. You, that should never be okay. You should never, ever whip your dick out and just flaunt it. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're Ric Flair. I don't care if you're Hulk Hogan. I don't care if you're God Himself. That kind of stuff. That's not okay. Um, and it absolutely should not be tolerated. And 20 years ago, I would have said that, yeah, you know what? There should have been some punishment for it. There should have been some. There should have been something done. 20 years ago, right after it happened. But it's it's 20 years later, almost 20 years later, 19 years later, and people are all of a sudden in an uproar about this. And I don't condone it at all, as you heard me say. I'm very much against it. But I'm also against canceling somebody for doing something 20, 30, 40 years ago. Statute of limitations here, people. And that's not defending what they did. It's just saying, why wasn't there this uproar about it years ago when it happened? You know what I'm saying?
Because she got paid off, and
She got paid off to keep her mouth shut. And by the way, she failed that because she opened it in this episode. But
well, at the same time, though, I mean, statute of limitations. I mean, she should be able to talk about it. But my thing is, with
okay, I
all
agree with
of
that.
this, is yes, there should have been consequences, and I'm in agreement with you too. Yes, that shouldn't have happened. There were consequences, although some were more severe than others for certain things.
There were consequences for other people on this flight. Mr.
But like
Perfect was
Tommy Dreamer
fired.
said, at that point in time, Ric Flair was a made man, so they just paid it and slapped him on the wrist. So there was a consequence. It might not have been the consequence that certain people wanted, but at that time, the flight attendant or stewardess or whatever they go by was accepting of that consequence of getting paid.
Yeah.
So that right there should have said, okay, hey, it wasn't right. Should WWE have done something differently? I say I'm one of those ones. I think it should be fair and even across the entire board. I don't think Kurt Hennig and Brock Lesnar's punishment should have been as severe as it was. Well, Kurt Hennig, I should say, Brock Lesnar really didn't get a punishment.
Yeah.
But I don't think his should have been as severe as it was when Ric Flair. But like again, Ric Flair was a made man at that time. Same thing with Brock Lesnar. He was in the doting eye of Vince McMahon, so he was going to do what he had to do in that unfairness reign. But no, I don't think there should be an uproar now because, like you said, where was the uproar then? What about nobody's wanting to cancel Stone Cold Steve Austin for smacking Deborah around.
Terry, remember, I don't know if you saw this, but Terry mentioned in the episode that Brock Lesnar showed himself. And people told her, "Hey, don't sell it, don't do anything."
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, but I think that Brock should be held accountable as well. Flair should be held accountable for what he did. I absolutely 1,000% agree with that. And the reason people are going after Tommy Dreamer is because he said it was a joke and it was a gimmick. Well, see, I don't think that Dreamer should be canceled for saying that or punished for saying that. But I also don't think that Dreamer should have said that. I don't think he could, because that's kind of a way of excusing the actions of Ric Flair, and I just don't think that his actions should be excused.
I mean, no, it actually should be excused, but I mean, look at how the direction that WWE was going in at that time too. That was. I mean, I can see where Tommy Dreamer's coming off.
It's a culture.
I guarantee you, she was not the only one Ric Flair's ever swung the hammer around.
Right, I'll agree with that.
So
she.
And I don't want people to think I'm condoning anything that happened on that. I think it was very rude and shouldn't have happened. But
absolutely.
At the same time,
hey, nothing on that flight that happened should have happened.
Oh, exactly.
I don't think that. We're going to get into all these stories in a minute, but
that entire flight should have never happened.
Facts, yes, absolutely. Also on this flight, ladies and gentlemen, Brock Lesnar and Kurt Hennig decided that they were going to have a play wrestling match. They're in an airplane. They are in an airplane, ladies and gentlemen. God knows what they've done already with the drugs and alcohol. And they're about to have a play fight. I don't care who you are. You should never have a play fight in an airplane. That's not the place to do it.
Well, I mean, I agree with that, but you got to see what a lot of people don't take into account is at that time with the drugs, the alcohol, the testosterone that was pushing through there at that time as well, too. That was a volatile environment that I'm surprised they didn't take the airplane down.
What do you mean take the down? Like what do you mean take down? Like take it out of the like crash?
Yeah. Like with everything that was going on, like that was a complete and utter disasters are waiting to happen.
It was a shit show. Let's just call it what it was. It was a shit show. Yeah. Absolute.
I mean, they were talking about, when Kurt Hennig and Brock Lesnar were fighting, that they came up against the exit door, and thank God the door didn't open.
Yeah. Yeah, and that was a fear that they had, too. It's like, oh, no, they're about to do something stupid.
Yeah.
And thank God that they didn't. And then you have Michael P.S. Hayes, who I actually felt bad for him. They decided that somebody, and I don't know who it was, there's all kinds of rumors as to who it was, but somebody cut off his ponytail.
The best part was when they got back and they taped it to the door.
Well, yeah, because what are you going to do with someone's ponytail? I mean, you know what I mean?
Jim Ross said he came across it and took it down.
But yeah, see, so in a nutshell, this fight was a bunch of grown adult men, professional athletes, acting like children. Is that a fair assumption?
Yeah. I mean, you could say that, but I mean, let's be honest, too, and like I said, I'm not making excuses for anything, and I'm sure there's people going to want to say, oh, well, you're making excuses for it, too. But you've got to look at the time it was happening, the era that it was happening in, and the things. And it's like going back to the Tommy Dreamer thing. Everybody wants to jump on Tommy Dreamer. Why? Because he said the truth. I mean,
people don't like the truth nowadays. I mean, don't you know this?
Oh, well, yeah. And that's the thing. It's like, here it is, 20 years later, they're talking about, okay, you can be like, man, that was a fucked up thing they did.
Yeah.
But that's not going to change anything because the settlement was already done, which means that the case was closed.
True.
Because in the settlement, I'm sure there was some kind of language or something that said that she can't come back and sue or do this or do that. And I'm sure there was a gag order in there where she had to keep her mouth shut about it for so long, and that's why she's talking about it now.
So you said that the case is closed. Should it be reopened following this or no?
No, absolutely not.
I don't think it should be reopened either. It happened.
She took the settlement. If she wanted to open it up,
she got what she wanted. She got money.
Yeah. Well,
she got money, and she
still, and I'm not sure about her, and I'm not saying because of her actions beforehand and the things that she has done before that warranted this, but she was a con lady. Her and her husband were con people.
Yeah, I was about to bring up. I heard just today, and I'm not saying this is true. I'm just going to say what I have heard, and you guys can do your own research on it if it means that much to you. I'm not saying yes for a fact. I'm not saying no for a fact. But I heard that she and her husband stole something like $8,000 from a bank.
Okay. So my thing with the whole thing is no, there should be no more repercussions for it because she took the settlement to finalize the case. If she wanted to take it further, she should have. But she and her husband saw the money and was like, yeah, I want the money right now. Let's take it. Let's do the deal. So in retrospect, they screwed themselves if they wanted to take it any further.
Yes.
And sure, Vince McMahon was going to back his people, which whether it was right or wrong.
This is being a good boss, backing your people.
Yeah.
And Dreamer, I will say this, Dreamer's a good friend for backing Ric Flair like that. That's a good friend.
And with the whole Vince McMahon thing, whether it was right or whether it was wrong, we're not disputing that. He was going to back his play, and I'm sure WWE probably found. Pretty sure Ric Flair didn't lose a penny off of that.
Oh no.
But the final straw was that she got what she asked for. She accepted the terms that was given to her. So therefore, right there, that ends everything. Yeah, you can tell your story and this, that, and the other, and people can feel sentimental or sad for you and get behind you. But well, you know, I was fucked up with what Ric Flair did. However, the situation was handled and done with. So now to basically bring up the double jeopardy thing in a non-court issue is it's stupid to me. Yeah, let's cancel Ric Flair. Really, look how many times he was in storylines where he threw himself onto people, and nobody. They were like, "Oh, that's just wrestling."
Exactly. Well, and it's 20 years later. What are you? Ric Flair's not even employed by the WWE anymore. What do you want done with Ric Flair? What punishment are they going to give Ric Flair? If any at all. Which they're not, because they can't. Nobody can punish him. He's not employed by anybody.
Well, yeah, and if you think about it, look at most of the people that are giving these, it's narrated by Chris Jericho, who it's obvious that him and WWE are not sitting eye to eye right now, and haven't for a while. So, I mean, you've got some biasness there too, but like you said, there's what punishment other than, okay, we're not going to put him on TV. So if he's not on TV, but he's doing stuff in the backstage area, off screen for AEW, who's going to know? Other than the AEW people.
Well,
nobody.
It would probably get leaked out online, and people would get in an uproar about that. But
at the same time, they wouldn't outside of mind kind of thing,
Mm-hmm.
They wouldn't see it, so they're like, okay, well, Ric Flair's canceled. Yeah, but he's secretly in the back, behind the screen doing things. But everybody's okay because they don't see him on the TV. That's all it is.
Yeah. So, anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that was our take on Ric Flair and everything going on in that situation. And we'll update you guys if anything happens. But I doubt anything will.
No.
I doubt it. But you never know. People can get crazy and all that crap. Let's talk about why we are here, though, man. Because as I previously mentioned, we were going to discuss in your house St. Valentine's Day Massacre, but as plans will be, they will change, and so today we're going to cover WrestleMania 15 and all things WrestleMania 15. And before we start with the show, Dustin, where do you said you watched that just today, man? What did it bring back any specific memories?
Yeah, it brought back a lot, actually. That was one of the matches I mean, it was a big controversy a couple of years ago, and once again, here we are, years later, bringing up controversies and stuff.
It's amazing how controversy can.
It kind of caught me off. I actually forgot about it, and it kind of caught me off guard when it came through. It didn't actually ring into me until it actually happened. I'm like, oh shit, this is that match. And
so you're referring to the
Undertaker Boss Man.
Yes, in Hell in a Cell, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
And once again, there again, things that were okay back then would never fly today.
Right.
And that's what I think that's what a lot of people don't understand is that things that were done in different eras were done that way because it was more accepted than it would be today. Like they would never do, like for example, the bloodbath that Seth Rollins I just watched this thing earlier today about that too. That they actually changed the color because they can't show red. That might offend somebody. Dousing somebody in a bloodbath.
Are you kidding me?
No. That's why the Seth Rollins segment with him and Edge, when Edge covered him in the bloodbath.
I remember the segment.
And they changed it to the black liquid instead of the red liquid because red liquid would probably send people off the edge and make them have a brain hemorrhage.
We're going to sound like a couple of old dudes here today, but I'm just going to say
that's fine. I don't care anymore at this point. I mean, they don't make it like they used to back in the day. Let's just put that right now.
I hate this generation because everybody's got to be offended by at least something. And if you're not offended, then you're the problem.
Yeah, because that part with Seth Rollins actually almost didn't happen. because of the network itself, actually. Which, networks, they have partnerships, public partnerships, and they've got to walk that line. So they were like, you can't do that. And they're like, well, what if we, dim the lights and change the liquid? Okay, so now we're going from a beer bath to a milk bath.
Basically, yeah. Although I will say that Kurt Angle's milk bath on Stone Cold in 2001 was awesome.
Classic.
That was good.
Yes,
that was great. So that was great. I love that. But yeah, everybody has to be. That's the thing that makes me so upset. I guess I'm offended here in a way. You have to be offended by something, otherwise you're part of the problem. No. There's a rapper that I absolutely love, and I'm afraid he's going to get canceled because of the things that he says. His name is Tom McDonald, and I don't know if you've ever listened to Tom McDonald, but a lot of what he says, he's just like right on the money about. He is 1,000% correct, and people are brainwashed.
Whatever happened to that whole thing, you don't like it, don't watch it.
Oh, that's not enough. If you don't like it, don't watch it. But also, if you don't like it, you make it known you don't like it, and you get taken off of the air or taken down completely. Shut it down all the way. Shut the person down. And I just don't agree with that. But anyway, sorry about that little tangent, ladies and gentlemen, that little rant, but it just had to be said. But like I said, we're here to talk about WrestleMania 15, and of course the Hell in a Cell match was on this show. But what else was on this show was The Rock versus Stone Cold in the very first WrestleMania main event match. And
classic match.
Yep, it was a fantastic match. But before we get to that, let's talk about the night before. It was the WrestleMania Rage Party. Do you know anything about this?
A little bit. I knew at this point in time in the years that WWE was throwing everything against the wall and seeing what was sticking. They had so much programming going on at the time. They had the Sunday Night Heat, they had the WrestleMania Week Party or whatever.
Rage Party. WrestleMania Rage Party.
Yeah, it's just there's so much, and see, that's part of with the pay-per-views. I'm still just a big fan of the Big Four. All these other still-ins just kind of, But
I will say that this. What is this next card? Oh, it's Extreme Rules. It looks okay. You got Roman Reigns against the Demon Finn Balor. That
not a fan at all. Not a fan at all.
No.
No.
I don't know what we're doing with the WWE Championship anymore. It was supposed to be Orton versus Lashley, but Big E cashed in his Money in the Bank and became WWE Champion on Monday. And I guess that's another thing we should talk about because a lot of
Big E should have been WWE Champion 10 years ago.
Yes. A lot of people, though, they say that Big E winning the WWE title was a hot shot. And they only did it to counter-program AEW.
I would say there was a little bit of that behind that, yeah.
There might have been, but then AEW counters that with Kenny Omega versus Daniel Bryan, or Bryan Danielson. Whatever he's going by now. I don't even know. But yeah.
It's an old WCW thing. There's a lot of WCW comparisons to AEW because a lot of them now are coming back with their. I'm surprised CM Punk didn't come back and still Brooks. Let's be honest. I mean, to the point now that it's. I'm a fan of AEW. I'm a fan of WWE. I'm a fan of wrestling in general.
Hey, what kind of name is Ruby Soho? People got so excited about that name, and I'm just thinking, why? Why are we all upset?
I think it was more or less that she just showed up there, and
okay, but hang on, let me say this. Because people are like, oh my god, Ruby's in AEW now, no way, no way. And I'm like, she wasn't shit in WWE. She didn't do anything in WWE.
She didn't do anything, but she allowed. That's where you got to go, and that's why a lot of people that's where I think the disconnect between WWE and AEW is AEW prides himself on giving the talent creative control to a point.
To a point.
To whereas WWE to me seems like it's okay, this is what we're doing, this is how we're doing it, we're doing it this way, and that way.
That is AEW seems much more relaxed in the way that they're producing stuff, whereas WWE everything is like micromanaged to a T.
Yes.
And I agree with that. The micromanaging it needs to stop. But also, not everybody should have creative control over what they do. I mean, I'll throw out an example right here, right now. Nikki Ash. This whole superhero gimmick that she has going. I'm not a fan of it at all. I don't know anybody who really... Well, I know two people that like it because it's just fun in wrestling. You just don't like fun. No, I like fun in wrestling. I love fun in wrestling.
But everybody's different.
Right.
Everybody has different interests and different
and his gimmicks popped up completely out of nowhere. And it just... Like, 1 week she's Nikki Cross, and then the next week she's wearing a mask and she's Nikki ASH. And I'm like, wait, what happened here? So, anyway, once again, we got sidetracked. What up?
We're turning Not Dead podcast into WrestleMania and Friends Not Dead
podcast. It is what it is. I had a lot to get off my chest tonight, so that's kind of why we did that. I'm sorry. Anyway, so the WrestleMania Rage Party, that took place Saturday before WrestleMania 15, and it was just like a fan access thing. It was just a bunch of fans and music. And the artists that performed at this Rage Party were... Wait till you hear some of these names. Hang on, let me see if I can...
Wasn't that part of that time that WWE was, they were dipping into the music and doing their... they were trying to get their hands dirty in the music scene with their intro music on CDs.
Yeah, and it had music from... And this WrestleMania Rage Party in particular had music from Isaac Hayes and Big Pun.
Yeah, I remember him being... They showed him.
Big Pun. Yeah. By the way, another sidetrack note here. Eminem had a song, or not Eminem, but Fat Joe had a song called Lord Above, and Eminem was on that track. And he said, one of Eminem's lines was, "Word to the Terror Squad, Joe. This is all puns aside, though." And that was a shout out to Big Pun. So I just thought that was a really cool thing. And then he goes on just to diss Nick Cannon and just crap all over him. I thought that was hilarious. But, so Big Pun was there, and they had a lot. There's a whole video on the WrestleMania Rage Party by Wrestling with Regret. So I would go check that video out if you want more details on it. You can hear my dog barking in the background there. I'm sorry. So this event, WrestleMania 15, as we get some of the stats here, it took place on March 28th, 1999. I had just turned 6 years old. It took place in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, at the Union Center. 20,000 people, 20,276 people showed up, and the buy rate was 800,000 people. So, and the tagline was the Rage and Climax, even though None of the stories really climaxed here. Everything kept going after the show.
Well, I think Jerry Lawler climaxed a few times on commentary. That's Jerry Lawler. And there again, back to the whole, we're going off on tangents thing. I mean, Jerry Lawler, look how many people are adored by him, but yet, he's got accusations out there about 13-year-old kids,
So. Yeah. On the heat before WrestleMania, Jacqueline defeated Ivory, and Terry Reynolds was in Jacqueline's corner. D'Lo Brown and Test won a tag team battle royal to determine number one contenders to the WWF tag team titles. And the other participants in that tag team battle royal were Rocco Rock, Johnny Grunge, Viscera, Gilbert, Animal, 8-Ball, Skull, Hawk, Scott Taylor, Farouk, Tiger Ali Singh, Matt Hardy, Jeff Hardy, Midian, Brian Christopher, Steve Blackman, and Bradshaw. So there's that. And then opening the show, Hardcore Holly defeated Al Snow and Billy Gunn to win the Hardcore Championship.
At that time, the Hardcore title was almost like today's 24/7 title.
I have a question. Wasn't Road Dogg like a hardcore? Wasn't he feuding over the Hardcore title?
At one point, he probably was. No, he was more along the European championships.
Okay.
But you got to think too. That was they were just coming out of the Gang Wars style WWE.
Yeah.
And I mean, they still had the corporate, they had the ministry,
they had DX.
DX had a few of the titles.
Yeah.
And then of course McMahon, he was heavily involved in all the angles and storylines because he's keep in mind he was just a couple of years removed from the big Montreal Screwjob.
Right. Oh, yeah. McMahon was a hot heel at this point. We'll get to that in a minute. Owen Hart and Jeff Jarrett defeated D'Lo and Test to retain the tag team championships. This was a random tag team, D'Lo and Test, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, at that point too. I think there was a lot of random tag teams because, like I said, it was all warfare type deal. It was like if you weren't in a group, if you were solo, outside of the main stars, like The Rock was incorporated at the time. Stone Cold was kind of his own. Outside of that, if you weren't in a group, you kind of got overlooked.
Yeah. It was. I'm sure they were a good team in this match. I'm sure all four of these guys had a good match. It was competent.
It was decent.
It didn't suck. You got four guys that can work pretty good. So.
I mean, overall, if I had to judge the card overall, I would say that the entire card was pretty decent.
Yeah, it doesn't look like a bad card. It's been a second since I've watched this pay-per-view, but I remember certain moments in these things. But okay, we got to talk about this. Before we get into the result here, we got to talk about the Brawl for All.
Oh God! That was another one that kind of. Oh yeah, that's right. This was controversial.
Yeah, well, Brawl for All as a whole. So the Brawl for All, for those of you who don't know, it was basically a bunch of wrestlers entering a tough man competition, and wrestlers got legit, and this was legit. People were getting knocked out.
It started out. It was supposed to be a work boxing tournament. And Bart actually took it and went legit with it. And he wasn't actually supposed to go there. He wasn't supposed to go as far as he was. And he actually
I believe Dr. Death was supposed to win the whole tournament. And he ended up getting injured in the tournament. So.
And that's where Bart Gunn got his payback. And my God, that's brutal.
Right? So the Brawl for... Who do you blame for the Brawl for All?
The Buck was Vince McMahon. I mean, he's the top guy. And with the match between Bart Gunn and Butterbean, I mean, after the first knockdown, they should have called it then. They should have never let Bart stand up and fight again.
In this match?
Yeah. He got knocked out twice.
He did. I remember. He got knocked out twice.
The second
Butterbean
one
is like
was
a legit boxer.
the second one was insanely brutal. Like, his head spun around three times, I think.
So the result here is that Butterbean defeats Bart Gunn in 35 seconds.
He didn't beat him. He destroyed him.
Yeah, he knocked him out twice in 35 seconds. Next match, Mankind defeated the Big Show by disqualification. And I believe that the winner of this match was supposed to be the referee for the main event.
Yeah, the winner of that was supposed to be, and that was right when Big Show or Paul Wright at that time, he had just came in.
Yeah.
And
he came in to say, by the way, we should probably talk about that pay-per-view real quick first. So let me pull those results up.
That's where he came in. What was it? The St. Valentine's Day Massacre when he showed up. And Vince McMahon actually, got upset. He got disqualified. Did the classic man thing and ended up having the Big Show arrested. And Mankind was actually sent to the hospital. Kayfabe.
Yeah. So this was the real quick, ladies and gentlemen. Here was the St. Valentine's Day Massacre in Your House results. This was a pay-per-view that took place right before WrestleMania. It took place February 14th, 1999, on Valentine's Day. Memphis, Tennessee, at the Memphis Pyramid. 19,000 people showed up, and 450,000 people bought the show. So there you go. And in a dark match before the event even happened, Too Much, Brian Christopher and Scott Taylor, defeated the Hardy Boys. On Heat, Viscera defeated Test. Billy Gunn defeated Tiger Ali Singh. And to open the show, Goldust defeated Blue Dust. Bob Holly defeated Al Snow to win the Hardcore Championship. Big Boss Man defeated Midian. Jeff Jarrett and Owen Hart defeated D'Lo Brown and Mark Henry for the Tag Team Championships. Val Venus defeated Ken Shamrock for the Intercontinental title. The Corporation, China and Kane, defeated DX, Triple H, and X-Pac. Mankind versus The Rock in a last man standing match went to a draw. And Stone Cold defeated Mr. McMahon in a steel cage match with help from Paul White, who threw Stone Cold into the cage and just the cage wall broke. And that's how Stone Cold was able to escape, correct?
Yes.
There we go. I remember that. I remember the hardcore title match as well from this, because it was, this hardcore title match ended outdoors in that little river. So, yeah, that was in your house, St. Valentine's Day Massacre. It was a solid show. I thought that China, it just dawned on me, but I thought that China actually turned on DX here at WrestleMania, but somebody else did, and that dawned on me just now. I'll talk about that in a second as we get to the match. But continuing things, Kane. Did we talk about the Road Dogg defeating Blue Meanie and Goldust and Ken Shamrock? I'm sorry, Goldust, Ken Shamrock, and Val Venus.
Yeah, that was the next one. That just kind of
happened.
Yeah.
It wasn't anything to write home about, ladies and gentlemen. It was decent. It went 9 minutes and 47 seconds. It was good. Kane. This is the match that the turn happened. Kane. No, I'm sorry. It's a couple matches down. I'm sorry. I'm confused here. Anyway, Kane. I'm sorry?
China turned on Kane and went back with DX.
Yeah. Kane defeated Triple H by disqualification. Yeah, it was a decent match, Kane's a good hand, and so is Triple H. So, the big story was that China just turned on Kane, and that was a big story in this match. Sable defeated Tori for the Women's Championship. The less said about that match, the better, I think.
Yeah.
Because Sable was not a competent wrestler.
She was the Eva Marie of that generation.
Yeah, yeah. That's about yeah. Shane McMahon um, defended the European Championship successfully against X-Pac. And Test was in Shane McMahon's corner. Because wasn't Test at this time Stephanie's boyfriend? And so he was helping her brother.
Yeah, because shortly after that's when the whole drug wedding phase happened.
Yeah. And this was the match where Triple H and Chyna turned on X-Pac. Correct?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. That's what happened after the match. Undertaker defeated Big Boss Man in WrestleMania's very first Hell in a Cell match. And this was a bad guy versus bad guy match, was it not? Or was Big Boss Man a babyface? Or
Big Boss Man was in the corporation still at that time, and that was when Undertaker was starting his ministry.
So
And
was there a
back
babyface
when
in
they
this
were
match?
battling, gang warfare type style.
Yeah. Okay. So no, there was no babyface here. 1999 is like a weird year for baby faces and heels in WWE.
Yeah, there was a lot of tweeners.
Yeah. And then in the main event, Stone Cold Steve Austin defeated The Rock in a no disqualification match for the WWF title, and the corporation was banned from ringside, and Mankind was the special guest referee. And
but if you remember, that was when Shawn Michaels was the commissioner.
Yeah.
And Vince McMahon made himself the special guest referee because, you got to remember at that time it was everything to do to keep Stone Cold from winning because, he was the working class hero.
At the Rumble, McMahon won the Rumble.
Yes, because it was him and Stone Cold won too.
Yeah. And they were the last two as well.
And then they made... Then when Vince McMahon came out and was actually helping The Rock attack Stone Cold, that's when later on Mankind made his way back and became the referee.
Yeah. And, this match was fantastic. This was probably the match of the night for WrestleMania 15. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
All right. This whole pay-per-view... They said that this was a raging climax, but if you look at the card, a lot of these feuds still continued on right after, so there was no real climax for any of these matches.
Well, I think they realistically kind of the raging climax part was part of that story was ending to shift into another part of the storyline. Because you got to understand that Vince McMahon and Stone Cold Steve Austin storyline went for years.
Right. Yeah.
Because Stone Cold actually, he was the one, and that's why he was so over, was because he was at that time, he was, like the guy that every working person wanted to be and just whoop their boss's ass for being a
drink a beer over their body. Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was WrestleMania 15, and it was a decent show. Aside from the Butterbean Bart Gunn match.
Don't get it twisted. That was excellent. The Butterbean and Bart Gunn thing was very excellent. I enjoyed seeing Bart Gunn just get
match, though. It was just.
It was a boxing match, and I enjoyed seeing Bart Gunn just get his head twisted around.
Yeah. It was a good card, good matches, and I don't know how. If you were Dave Meltzer, God bless you that you're not. How many stars would you give this show? I'd probably give it 3.3 or 3.4.
I'm not going to give it a Dave Meltzer version because Dave Meltzer sucks. But I'd give it my version. I'd give it out of 5 stars. I'd give it a solid 4.
Have you heard any of Dave's recent ramblings?
I make a point not to listen or see anything. If I see the word Dave Meltzer, I just skip past it.
Well, you're going to get a kick out of these. Hold on a sec. Let me find this real quick before I think this is it right here.
So you're going to force me to hear this shit.
Basically, so Dave Meltzer has made these three claims. Asuka is just. Hang on. Where did it go? I just lost it. Shit.
See, that's a sign saying that you shouldn't even talk about
No,
it.
No. I have to tell you these. Because when you hear, you'll laugh. You'll laugh. First of all, you try to sit there and say that Young Bucks versus Lucha Brothers or whatever in that cage match was better than the TLC match at WrestleMania 2000.
That's his opinion. See, there we are. We're talking about opinion-based things here.
Okay.
I don't like his opinion, so I don't care about his opinion. Just like he probably doesn't care about my opinion if he even knew I existed.
These are not opinions. These are all things that Dave Meltzer has said.
Which are opinions.
No, they are opinions. He made these out to be facts. Asuka just isn't being used. Adam Cole as a manager. NXT is being taken over by Vince McMahon, and they're having those were three things that Dave Meltzer has said. Asuka's not injured; she's just not being used. Adam Cole is going to be used as a manager, and NXT is being taken over by Vince McMahon.
Well, there's no lie there.
Hang on. The NXT. Hang on, because there's rebuttals here. So, Asuka actually was injured.
Yes.
She actually was. So he lied there. Adam Cole said that him being a manager was false.
Before she was injured, was she actually being used?
I think she was, yeah, because she was just a Raw Women's Champion. And then she had to go away because she got injured.
Okay, so we'll give you that one.
Adam Cole as a manager. Adam Cole himself has claimed that's false. He's never heard that one before.
And, well, I mean, there were rumors going around that he was going to be, so...
Okay, well, Adam Cole has claimed that's false. He's confirmed that that's false. So, and then NXT being taken over by Vince, and Nick Khan confirms that's false. Which...
Remember who Nick Khan is?
He is the WWE president.
Okay, but there's also been statements released that Vince was taking over because of this art issue that Triple H was having.
Yeah, I've heard that. He might be temporarily taking it over. But, I mean, I think people are thinking, like, Vince is going to make all these changes to it. And I watched the very first...
it is his product, so, I mean, if he wanted to... I don't see why that would be an issue.
Right. Well, I watched NXT last Tuesday, because last Tuesday was when they said all these changes are going to start to take effect this week. And so I watched, and the changes that they made, I got to tell you, they actually look pretty good. It's a much better lit arena that they're in. It's not that dark and grungy arena. And also...
So would it be safe to say that maybe NXT is going to a different era? Kind of like how you progression era, you change things around. You change the logo, you change the look of the arena, you change the...
The ropes are now white instead of gold. Yeah. And that's my only complaint is about the ropes, which is such a minor complaint, but I might have... Because they use white ropes for the pay-per-views, too. And so, to me, that just doesn't set it apart, but I don't know. Maybe I'm... Like I said, it's just a minor thing, and I'm sure I'm overreacting on it, but...
Well, yeah, it's like you said, though, we haven't seen an NXT pay-per-view, so what are the ropes like on an NXT pay-per-view? Are they going to be different?
Maybe.
Would that upset you if they were different?
Hey, maybe for the pay-per-views they'll make them gold. I don't know.
Well, weren't they gold and black back when they were still the gold black brand?
It was just they weren't gold and black. They were just gold ropes. But
Well, yeah, but black ring or black canvas or whatnot.
Yeah.
It was their ring was the same through their shows and their pay-per-view.
Yeah.
If you want to get technical and start complaining about little small things, I don't like the LED boards on the rings.
Oh God, neither do I. I don't like the LED stuff. Period. That's just way too much. Go back to the older days where you just had the logo on the ring apron and that's all you needed. You know what I'm saying?
Different strokes for different folks, different times.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, I guess that's going to do it for this week's Not Dead podcast. Also, next week, we're going to be discussing, I know we're going to be a little late on this, ladies and gentlemen, but next week, I believe, is our last episode in September, so better late than never. We're going to discuss the 9/11 episode of SmackDown next week, so you're not going to want to miss that. Hey, if you like this video, hit that thumbs up. If you're not already subscribed, hit the subscribe button. We post videos weekly. You saw me playing a video game in this video.
And if you don't, Rakishi's going to give you a stink face.
That's right. Rakishi's going to give you a stink face, and you're also going to get and you're also going to get canceled for something that happened 20 years ago.
Even if you weren't born 20 years ago, we're going to find a reason.
That's right. You weren't around to stop it. Ladies and gentlemen, like I said, comment down. Hang on. Like I said, like the video, subscribe if you're not already subscribed, or else Rikishi's going to give you a stink face. And also, leave a comment what you thought of WrestleMania 15. And what do you think about this Ric Flair situation / Tommy Dreamer situation? Let us know what you think down below. Like I said, I'm Cybermania. He's Dustin. Signing off. See you next week, folks. Later.